You ever watch an entire neighborhood nearly drown just because one person couldn't stand the sight of a few leaves? No, seriously, picture this. I just retired after 23 years, with the Army Corps of Engineers half that time wading through mud, the other half chasing flood maps around storm tables. All I wanted was a slice of peace and maybe a little bird song, not a suburban soap opera. So I moved on to Hawthorne Lane, this little corner of Americana where lawns look like military formations, flags hang off every porch, and the most drama you'd expect is maybe a lost dog or a barbecue gone rogue. I didn't move here for battles, I came to heal. The house was sturdy, plain old cedar with a backyard that sloped into a line of maple trees so red in October it almost hurt to look. Everything felt earned, like I was finally cashing in the someday my late wife and I always talked about. She didn't make it here, but I did. I brought her memory with me into every room. 3 days in, I'm thinking I'm living the dream. Then I noticed the storm drain by the corner of my yard. You'd probably walk right past it, a little pile of leaves, but underneath, somebody had bolted a thick plastic sheet right over the grate. I peeled it back and there's sediment pooling up, water going nowhere. Trust me, I know a rigged drain when I see one. This wasn't leaves, this was someone's bright idea of landscaping. I look across the street and there's another one and another. 3 in a row blocked. My coffee's going cold and I'm standing there with this pit in my stomach because blocking a storm drain isn't just a code violation, it's a disaster waiting to happen. Streets flood, cars float, basements fill up, and if you're really unlucky, folks get hurt. Still, maybe it's just some maintenance hiccup, right? I decide to give the benefit of the doubt. Next morning, I call the HOA, the number in my welcome packet. Woman answers sharp as a tack, calls herself Karen, and yes, the name fits. I explain calm as I can that I just moved in, noticed the drains are blocked. And maybe that's not the best idea come storm season. She gives this sigh and goes, "Oh, those. We sealed them for aesthetic reasons. Leaves are unsightly. Part of some new HOA policy. I almost choke on my coffee. Aesthetic reasons. Lady, you're going to flood the street." I try to keep it friendly. Mention city codes, public safety, you'd think that'd get her attention. But no, she doubles down. If you're unhappy, you're welcome to attend the next board meeting. But don't tamper with any HOA infrastructure. Then hangs up. Just like that, the air in my house changes. This isn't a bunch of neighbors planting petunias. This is something a lot more rigid, a lot more about control. That night I walk the block again, find 6 more drains sealed with plastic sandbags, even steel mesh. Some have tiny holes drilled in, like that's going to fool anyone. It's not neglect, it's a system. Next morning I show up at the HOA meeting. Karen's there at the head of the table in a blazer that probably cost more than my lawnmower, flanked by 3 board members who look like they moonlight as security guards. I keep it polite offer to share hydrology maps. Heck, I even offer to clean the drains myself. They smile, nod, then hit me with a $100 fine for tampering with HOA landscaping features. Didn't even touch the drains, unanimous vote. That's when I realized this isn't ignorance. This is power wielded by people who have no business holding it. Next morning, I finally meet Karen in person, heels clicking down the street like a warning bell. Platinum bob sunglasses, you could land a plane with pink blazer tight enough to block circulation. Clipboard in hand. "Good morning," she says like she's about to serve me a summons. Drops off a 10-page packet about visual cohesion standards and drainage beautification zones, reads like a military contract written by a poet. I ask, were these rules voted on by the whole community or just the board? Her lips twitch. The board is empowered to make decisions, even ones that override city codes. Her jaw clenches. Starts talking about beautification initiatives, child safety, everything but public safety. I push back. Great, covers, not permanent seals. Redirecting water is a problem. She pivots to my lawn, edging my trash bins, anything but the drains. I almost laugh. I've seen this move before when logic fails attack the messenger's grass. That weekend, rain is in the forecast, just a little at first. I check my gutters, walk the street, count 11 storm drains, 9 sealed, 2 barely open. Karen is hosting a wine night, fairy lights everywhere, HOA board in matching polos. I'm not invited, but I walk by anyway, give a polite nod, get a few back, most folks look away. Karen raises her glass, fake as a $3 bill. Hope to see you at the next board meeting, Mr. Callahan. Yeah, you too, Karen. 9 days later, the real storm comes. Sky looks like an old bruise. By afternoon, thunder's rolling and the rain starts steady, relentless. I watch water snake along the curb looking for an exit, but every drain is a dead end. That night, I fire off a formal email to the HOA, and city officials list codes, attach photos, highlight every sealed drain. I even include a PDF from the city engineer's office about stormwater limits. The HOA's auto-reply is instant issue resolved. No further action required. No signature, no name, nothing. That weekend, neighbor Luis finds me at the mailbox, always friendly jazz playing in his garage. He says, "Hey, saw your email. Karen posted about it, said you were causing panic, spreading misinformation." Misinformation. She called me a self-proclaimed expert. I clench my jaw. Then Luis says she accused me of tampering with HOA equipment. I hadn't done a damn thing except document. But with Karen observing is the same as rebellion. Next day, there's a formal notice in my mailbox, $150 fine for unauthorized activity. No photos, no timestamps, just a shakedown. I laugh, but it's not funny. It's just obvious. I file an appeal drop, a packet of city codes, engineering reports, and photos into the HOA's Dropbox. Radio silence. Next morning, my mailbox is bent, not broken, just enough to send a message. A few days later, someone dumps mulch across my driveway. Coincidence, sure. And I'm the Queen of England. I install cameras, one above the garage, one on the lamppost. I don't advertise it. Then comes the real turning point. Karen leads a community walkthrough, clipboard in hand, making notes. Stops at my house. "We've received complaints about your side yard slope. It may be contributing to water pooling." I stare. "Pooling because you sealed the drains." She just smiles. "Landscaping notice. 10 days to comply." I ask, "And if I don't?" She leans in. "We'll escalate." That's when I snap inside, not out of fear, but because I know what happens next. And Karen will blame everyone but herself. So I prep. I map every drain, build a file with photos, rainfall data. Even fly my old Army drone for a top-down scan. The next storm is building in the Gulf. Pressure's dropping. It's coming. At midnight, I hear metallic clinking outside, soft, purposeful. Pull on boots, grab a flashlight, step out. There they are, Karen and a contractor crouched at the last open drain, bolting it shut. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" I say. Karen tries to play it off, routine maintenance at midnight. I record the whole thing. She freezes, realizes she's caught. Contractor mutters, "Maybe they should come back in the morning." They leave toolbox rolling away. I unscrew the bolts. Pull off the steel plate. Water finally trickles through. Sabotage, plain and simple. And I file another complaint, security cam images, timestamps, the whole 9 yards. City says, "We'll review in 14 business days." Storm isn't going to wait. Karen fines me $250 for intimidation. That's it. I go full defensive. Install more cameras, document every infraction, call an old Army buddy, now a lawyer who promises to send preservation letters to the HOA. The rain starts up again. I email the mayor, council, fire marshal, state emergency services. Imminent HOA facilitated flood risk. Then I wait. The storm creeps in, quiet and deadly. By mid-afternoon, water's lapping at driveways. The drain by my yard sealed again, someone snuck out in the night. By 5 p.m., the street is a river. Luis's Buick is half submerged, alarms wailing. Karen's SUV starts floating, spinning down the block. She's out there in a soaked bathrobe, screaming after her car. I run out yelling, "Forget the car, you'll get swept under." She stumbles sobbing, finally retreats to her porch. That night is hell. Flashlights in windows, generators humming, kids kayaking down the street, water up to my knees. I don't sleep, just sit by my cameras, coffee in hand, watching the water. Dawn reveals carnage, cars wedged on lawns, garage doors blasted open, debris everywhere, and every storm drain still sealed. No one can deny what happened now. Neighbors gather, some angry, most just stunned. Karen's out on her porch, blaming everyone, her control unraveling in real time. Then come the city trucks, public works guys, prying open every drain inspector on Karen's porch. A few days later, the real hammer drops. Flood investigators arrive. Karen tries to bluster, but they serve her with an inquiry for municipal code violations. Agent reads off the list: obstructing infrastructure, personal liability. Karen signs, hands shaking. That's what consequences look like. A hearing follows. My lawyer presents the evidence, photos, emails, midnight footage. Judge isn't impressed with the beautification defense. Ruling: HOA board suspended all fines against me, erased restitution to residents. Karen just sits there silent, finally realizing power isn't the same as immunity. We rebuild. Community center meeting, no HOA banners, just neighbors. Jenna becomes president, Luis VP. I join the infrastructure committee, train folks on flood prep. The city hosts a recognition event. Jenna thanks me for speaking up. People listen now, act, own their part in what comes next. I end most evenings now on my porch, quiet, grateful. Sometimes I hear laughter, a dog bark, water draining clean and free down the street. That's what community is supposed to sound like. Not rules for the sake of rules, but neighbors watching out for each other, facing storms together, and coming out the other side stronger. So let me ask, where do you draw the line between control and community? Between keeping things beautiful and keeping people safe? Drop your thoughts below. Share your stories. I read every one. And if you've ever stared down a Karen with a clipboard, you're not alone. Hit subscribe for more stories. Tell me where you're watching from. And hey, never let anyone block the storm drain in your life.